So let's see if I can get myself together today. Work. Alrighty. Alright, let's see. Oh, thank you. I see me on everything except YouTube right now. What's going on? Come on, YouTube. Don't do me like this. What's up, everybody? YouTube always want to give me a hard time. Let me see if I can. I know this is gonna suck, but all right. So what's up, everybody? So today we're gonna talk about credit cards. I'm hoping, you know what I'll do? I'll just save the recording and then I'll go ahead and upload it on YouTube like that. So if you're watching this and you can't stay the whole time, then I'm still gonna upload it on YouTube, or you can always just join the Facebook group, because this should be getting shared into the Facebook group for you guys to go back and review later. But what's up, everybody? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Markia. I'm known as the Money Plug here on social media. I'm a board certified credit repair specialist and credit score consultant, and I use my platform to educate people on how not only to repair your credit, but to rebuild your credit, right? Because that's the most important part. It's my Friday. I'm going on vacation, so I promise you guys I will go live today too. Let me see if I can turn this down some. I promise you guys that I will go live today too, so that I can answer a lot of questions and stuff today, because I'm going to be super busy tomorrow. But when are you going to accept my friend request? I really don't be adding people to my personal page, because I be posting my kids and stuff. I really don't be adding people to my personal page. Let's see. So, sorry, Instagram, you guys can't see it, but everywhere else, I'm streaming while I play. I'm answering questions while I'm playing Spider-Man, because I'm trying to monetize my Facebook using like Facebook's little gaming thing. That's probably like the easiest way to go about it. So I'm trying to do that. So for everybody else watching on TikTok and Facebook and Twitch, you'll be able to see me play Miles Morales. I've actually already beat this game, but I restarted my progress since I haven't played it on the PS5 yet, surprisingly. So I think I played it for the first time like a couple weeks ago. No, on PlayStation. You sent me a friend request on PlayStation? For real? Hold up. How do I go back and check that? Right? I go to this. We all friends. Friend requests. I accept. That's the only one I got from 2022. You sure you sent me a request? My PlayStation name is THEE Money Plug. I changed it for you guys the other day, but so let's talk about because you're gonna be advised on credit and it just helps with my work. Oh, you're so welcome. All right, so we're gonna be talking about credit cards today, because I think that's like the number one question I've been getting this week for some reason. I think because of the video I posted a couple months ago actually is getting a little bit of traction again, and so I really want to clarify some of the things that I said in the video. For example, one of the things that I talked about was talking about like how to properly use credit cards, and it seemed very difficult, I guess, for a lot of people. So they were just like, well, I'm not going to have credit cards because credit card debt is terrible anyway. And I don't want to owe anybody. And I get it. I truly do. But when you, just like anything else, when used properly, credit cards are a very valuable tool, for you to use to not only establish good credit, but to maintain it. Because I'm going to tell you guys now, when it comes to like your whole journey with, he said that is weird to request your personal page. The credit journey is not something where it's like a destination. This is a constant journey. You are constantly having to work to make sure that your credit stays in top shape at all times. I have a friend with that credit card mindset. It's not unheard of. For example, I know with a lot of, with a lot of Black people, I think one of the biggest things is like, hey, I only use credit cards in case of an emergency, so I'm really not comfortable with getting any more credit cards on my credit profile. And I always tell people, like, never do anything that you're uncomfortable with, but also do not allow your uncomfortability to kind of hinder you, right? Do not allow you being uncomfortable to hold you back from what you could potentially be out here accomplishing. For the simple fact that a lot of you are uncomfortable because you are uneducated. Not to say you're stupid, but you don't know something about a subject. And instead of doing the research, you're allowing the fact that you are uncomfortable to kind of control that mindset. You can't do that. Ooh, I got a super suit. So, so for those of you who are listening, you're like, wait a minute, I use my credit cards in case of an emergency. Like, why is that a bad thing? The thing about an emergency is that it implies that you don't have the money to pay it back. And so you don't want to use the credit card and then kind of get yourself into a position where you can't pay it back. You're behind the 8 ball. So you're struggling to catch up to your payments. You're struggling to get the balance down while still maintaining your payments. Hello. So it's very, very, very important that you guys understand the proper way to use a credit card so that you'll see the value in having credit cards. Credit cards control over 65% of your credit scores. So, that by itself is a plus. That right there is, ooh, I unlocked it. Oh no, I was sick. So that by itself is enough of a reason for you to actually use it. Here we go. And then this mod right here. Instagram, you can't see what I'm doing, but like I said, I'm playing unaffordable. Shoot. I'm playing Spider-Man. I'm playing the Miles Morales one specifically, and it's crazy because like when I did the video talking about like the proper way to use a credit card and why like pretty much explaining the value in having a credit card on your credit profile, a lot of the people accused me like, oh, you profit off of people being in credit card debt. So of course you're going to tell people to get credit cards. Number one, I can clearly tell that you all do not follow me because number one, credit card debt is not the only kind of debt that affects your credit profile. But also like when it comes to anything regarding your credit, anything used improperly is going to be a detriment. Like you understand what I'm saying? So it's like you cannot sit there and specifically assign credit cards this horrible reputation because other people did not manage it properly. And that also implies that you're not going to do better than those people. You're not going to learn from their example. You're not even giving yourself the opportunity to try. So it's really important that, again, you guys educate yourselves on the benefits of having a credit card. Credit cards are not supposed to be used in case of an emergency. A credit card is supposed to actually replace your debit card. And if you don't believe me, you can actually go on YouTube. There are very well documented interviews with millionaires and billionaires who openly talk about how they don't even have debit cards. Like they have no cards associated to their bank accounts. They actually strictly use credit to make purchases, and then they use their bank accounts to do ACH payments to pay these credit cards off. That's why credit cards give you those perks of, hey, you get cash back for gas, you get cash back for groceries, you get cash back for, cash back for everyday purchases. You get what I'm saying? They want you to replace your debit card. That is an incentive for you to use them more, not to put you in more debt, but for them, the more you use your card, the more money they get. But this also goes back to if you're not managing your money properly, you're not going to be able to manage other people's money properly. So that goes into, you need to start having those tough conversations with yourself about how you're spending, what your spending habits are like. What are you spending your money on? Why is it that you're not, making ends meet? You really need to start having those hard conversations with yourself before you start opening up credit cards. Because if you don't have that under control, when you get a credit card, it's like putting an alcoholic in a liquor store. You're going to go crazy. And I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand about credit cards. I guess I'm about to start this. I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't understand about credit cards is that when done properly, it's not a bad thing. You just have to use the card properly. And that's the piece that a lot of people are missing. Should we pay off a repossession since it is a charge-off? It depends on what your goals are. Repossessions are the number one sued debt, right? So if you plan on disputing it, I'm going to tell you now, if you lose that dispute, they're going to sue you. So I always tell people that if you plan on disputing it, also plan on paying money if it goes the wrong way. Now, when you're fixing your credit, you also need to have a goal in mind. So are you willing to make payments are you willing to, do certain, what are you, how far are you willing to go to have good credit? That's really what it kind of boils down to. How far are you willing to go to have good credit? So with your repossession, if it's an amount that you can afford to pay, or if you're willing to settle with them to get that account, at least so that it lowers how much money you have out there that you owe, because that is a thing that can get you denied for credit no matter what your credit score is. If you owe too many people, they're still going to tell you, no, we're not going to loan you any money, or we're not going to give you this credit card. So that's also something else you have to take into consideration. Whether or not you pay debt, any kind of debt, repossession, a regular charge off, a collection, it all boils down to what are you willing to do to get to that next level? What are you willing to do for good credit? I'm in the process of getting a house and I want a better interest rate. The best thing is you need to understand how your credit score is calculated in order for you to manipulate your credit profile in a way that benefits your credit score. So, number one, the biggest, the thing that has the most effect on your credit score is going to definitely be, oh, I got it. I see it. I see your friend request now. It just popped up. The biggest thing is going to be payment history. So, get up there. The biggest thing is going to be payment history. So how many of your accounts have 100% on-time payment history, right? How many of your accounts have missed payments? And those that have missed payments, how good of a relationship do you have with that lender? Is that a lender that you can go to and ask, hey, by the way, we have a pretty good relationship, so can you forgive me for these late payments that I have? Or is this one of those situations where you feel like, is this one of those situations where you feel like you can disprove the fact that they have the right to report your late payments? Or do you feel like, you could take them if it went that far and you had to lodge a complaint with the CFPB? So on-time payment history is probably the biggest thing you can do, especially when it comes to buying a home specifically, simply because how we always talk about the different credit scores, right? The mortgage scores place a heavy emphasis, even heavier than a regular, credit score, plays a heavier emphasis on on-time payment history, because when it comes to a mortgage, this is a 15-30-year obligation. Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention. This is a 15-30-year obligation in most cases. So, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh, okay. So they want to make sure that they're not going to have to kick out more money in the event that you're not going to follow, through with the contract that you signed. So, oh God, now I got to actually fight. The next subject is going to be your credit utilization. So out of all of the credit cards that you have, right? When you add up all your credit limits and calculate your credit utilization overall, do you have low credit card utilization? I know a lot of research that you guys do say 30%, but again, when you're buying a house, you want this to be as low as possible. Because that's and this is the easiest way to manipulate points with your credit score. Oh my God, come on now. Okay, bro, disappear, bro. Hold on, y'all. Somebody's still alive. Oh my God, all of these thinkers are still alive. Come on now. Now, 15% of your credit score is also going to be the length of account history. So if you just started opening up accounts and stuff this year, that's going to count against you, because your accounts are not considered age, and they can't really judge your ability to pay back debt because you honestly just got that debt. So you haven't really established a pattern of on-time payment history. So that's also very important for you to understand. All right, that's it. Now, 10% of your credit score is going to be a mix of accounts. So we talked a little bit on the live, it was either yesterday or last week, where we talked about the different types of credit, right? There's 3 types of credit. There's installment credit. There's your revolving lines of credit, which is like your credit cards and your lines of credit, right? And then there's charge cards, which you really don't hear too much of when you're building. But like the cards that don't necessarily have the preset limits that you have to pay at the end of the billing cycle, those are like charge accounts. So, And then the last 10% is going to be inquiries. So using these sections, you're going to dissect your credit profile to see how you can maximize points in each section. When it comes to inquiries, I tell people the maximum amount of inquiries you should have in a 12-month time period is 5. You should not be opening any more than 5 accounts in a 12-month time period. If you're looking to establish a relationship with Chase in the near future, they have a very specific rule called the 524 rule, which states that you cannot open more than 5 credit card accounts in a 24-month time period. So if you are one of those people who are looking to establish a relationship with them, that is also something you should take into consideration when you're building your credit profile. Because remember, I tell people all the time, when you're credit building, you need to make sure you have goals set. You should not just be signing up for credit cards and signing up for accounts because you saw it in the credit building group and everybody else got approved, and so now you want one too. It's not a good enough reason. You need to establish some goals for yourself first and then go ahead and start looking at accounts. Will these accounts benefit you? I always use the example, like, a Lane Bryant credit card is not hard to get at all, but I'm 5'10" and 150 pounds. What the hell am I going to buy in Lane Bryant? I can't fit nothing in that store. So I wouldn't even use the card. Do you see what I'm saying? The cards and the accounts that you're opening up need to benefit your current or your future lifestyle. If it's not in alignment with what you have planned, then it's not a good idea. So I should clean up everything around the repossession. I had old credit accounts that closed for not using. Oh, that's common. Again, that goes back to you only need accounts that you actually plan on using. If you're somebody who is, considering opening up new accounts and you really don't know how to do it, a tip that I always tell people is to print out one of your bank statements and look at what you've been spending your money on for the last 30 days and then determine what cards are going to benefit you using that knowledge. So if you spent a lot of money on eating out, you can look for credit cards that offer cash back or points for restaurants or groceries. You see what I'm saying? If you're somebody who travels a lot, maybe you're going to want a credit card that gives you miles. If you drive a whole lot, maybe you're going to look for a credit card that gives you cash back on gas. So you really want to make sure that any accounts that you open up benefit what you're actually going to be spending money on, so that it makes it easier for you to assign a purpose to that credit card to ensure that it's actually going to be used. Tony Campbell, I don't know what the first question was, but it's only showing me bits and pieces of what your it's not showing me all of what your comment was. Okay. A question that I got was what credit cards do I suggest for college students who have fluctuating income? So people who do not necessarily have a job where they can guarantee that they're going to have the money to make their payment that month. And for you, I typically suggest, unranked. Okay. I don't need to look at that. For you guys, what I typically suggest are prepaid credit cards. Now, I always say that everybody should have at least one regular credit card. So either secured or unsecured, it really does not matter. But you just need a regular credit card that's going to report on-time payment history as well as credit utilization. But prepaid credit cards are really cool in the sense that you put a balance on the card. So you put money into the account and you use it just the same exact way you would use a debit card. It's just that it does not report credit utilization, and it uses the purchases that you're going to be making to help report that on-time payment history. If you are somebody who you have a decent credit profile and your credit utilization is sitting pretty, so you really don't want to mess that up, but maybe you have late payments that you really need to bury because they're refusing to remove them. Or maybe you got a lot of charge-offs on your account, and so you're trying to bury those in positive reporting history. These prepaid credit cards could be ideal for you because they're adding on-time payment history to your credit profile without really affecting your credit utilization. It's also going to help with, they always say that you should be consistently opening up new accounts. So it's going to help with, making sure that your credit profile shows that I always pay my bills, right? And a lot of people be like, well, I've had the same credit card for, 7 years, but I only got one card and my score seems like it's stuck. That's because it looks like if that's the only account that you have and you've had that credit card for, a long time, you don't really have a well-rounded credit profile. It looks like you're really, really good at paying that one debt. You want to make sure that you have a good mix of accounts so that it shows that you pay all of your debts, in a timely manner, you stick to whatever agreements you sign, et cetera, et cetera. That is very important to understand as well. So I always suggest now for parents, because I I'm going to be speaking at a Detroit public school event that they're doing where they're kind of educating parents on different things. And so I'm going to be talking to them about repairing and building their credit and using their credit to help their children establish credit prior to them graduating. Oh, dang. And that's literally what I was about to talk about. Somebody said my son just turned 18, about to graduate from high school. Should he get a credit card? So pretty much what I tell people when you're trying to establish credit for your children is to set the example, number one. If your child is not 18 just yet and you would like to give them a leg up, an option that you have is that if you have a credit card that has 100% on-time payment history and consistently low reporting credit utilization, you can add your child on as an authorized user to that card. This is not the same as opening up an account in your child's name. This is like way better and not illegal, because yes, opening up accounts in your children's name is illegal. But it's also a way for you to, like I said, use your credit and your credit building skills to give your child a leg up, because they cannot get their own account if they're under 18. Now, once a child turns 18, an account that I suggest for the parent, if the parent's going to be paying into it or if the child's going to be paying into it, there's something known as the self-credit builder loan. The self-credit builder loan is it's a predetermined like loan that you set all the parameters for. So you choose how long you're going to be paying this, up to 2 years. You choose how much you're going to be paying every month, and then the payments come out automatically for the most part. Now, at the completion of you paying back this loan, what actually happens is that you get a direct deposit or a paper check in the amount that you paid into the program. So you're actually paying into a certificate of deposit instead of, paying off a loan. So it's a way for you to build credit while also saving money. I think this is a really dope concept. They also give you access to a secured credit card that uses the money that you paid into the program as the deposit, so that you don't have to kick out extra money. This is also ideal for people who are rebuilding and just like for some reason keep getting denied for credit cards and you just cannot get a credit card, because if you qualify for the self-credit builder loan, then you qualify for their credit card. So it actually kind of works in your favor in a sense. But that is a good introductory account for people, individuals who are turning 18. And that's definitely something that I suggest, an account that I suggest. Now, if you feel like every parent knows their child, right? So if you feel like your child is responsible enough for a credit card, then go for it. But maybe I would start them out as an authorized user on your credit card first, just to kind of test that theory out. I'm 24 without credit. Where should I start? Definitely think self should be a place to start. Or, well, technically, I always tell people, like older individuals, the first place to start would actually be your bank, right? Because you already have an established relationship with your bank. They know your payment schedule. They know if you pay bills on time or not, So, they might be more willing to give you things because they have that personal relationship with you. Remember, I have this conversation with you guys all the time. I tell you where, like, you can leverage a relationship that you have with a bank to get things that your credit score would normally get you. I am not paying attention. Come on, I got this. Let's see. Ooh. Boom. All right. I think that was the last one. No, it's one more. Where'd you go? I could have swore it was somebody over here. Oh, they're up there. Okay. Okay. Woo, hold on. I just finished my first round of self. I'm about to start a second round. I'm trying to rebuild my credit. So self is an account that I literally do every year. I have children, and so I always use self to kind of help me with Christmas. I'll start an account around like October, September every year. And I'll just kind of pay it off around the same time, and then I'll use that money to kind of pay for Christmas. Ooh, that looked like it hurt. All right. What other questions we got for me today? Damn. Ah. Bro, did I beat her up? No, bro, she is not going down without a fight. There we go. Okay. All right. Wait, go in here. Go in there, bro. Can I go in there? There we go. Okay. Sorry, Instagram. I know y'all can't see me playing the game, but it looks really, really cool. Okay. All right. What other questions you guys got for me today? What was something else? Somebody asked me something that was a really good question today. Oh, so I have somebody who is thinking about paying their car off because they want to start the home buying process or whatever, and they really don't have that much left as far as like what they owe on the car. And with them getting their taxes back, they were like, I could just pay this off, not have to worry about it, and then start my, my house shopping. And so to that, what I typically tell people is that when it comes to buying a home, you should not be making any major changes to your credit profile within 6 months of you going to the lender and being like, hey, I want to buy a house. And that includes paying off accounts, because if you'll remember, whenever you pay off a loan, that changes things for your credit profile and lowers your score. Damn, bro. Come on now. That lowers your score. And this happens when you pay anything off, whether you pay it off early, whether you pay it off in time. None of that really matters. Paying it off, period, is going to do this. This is because this account is no longer reporting every month. And so your credit profile kind of has to adjust to that loss. This is another reason why it's important for you to be consistently adding new accounts, because once that account falls off, well, not necessarily fall off your credit report, because they're still going to report the history associated with it. But once it's no longer an active open account, the loss in points that you experience is all dependent on how important this account was to your credit profile. If this was the only account that you had open on your credit profile, then of course it's gonna really affect you negatively. Damn, that was a good one. It would have been doper if that was the last person. All right, let's see. So, sis, I owe my bank a couple thousand. I'm trying to pay it back, but the interest rate is too high. So, shoot, sorry. Damn, it's 8 o'clock already. Jesus, I did not know it was 8 o'clock already. All right, Instagram, don't do me like this. Yep, Instagram giving me a hard time. Hold on, I gotta restart Instagram. I knew that was gonna happen as soon as that damn alarm went off. Whoopsies. Live, there we go. So when it comes to paying back a bank, it all depends on the kind of debt that you owe. So if this is money that you owe as far as, oh wait, where the hell? I definitely thought that, how do I get, oh, through the door, duh. When it comes to money that you owe a bank, if you owe it for like a checking account, you also could end up in check systems, which is gonna which is gonna make it harder for you to get a bank account in the future, or really any kind of account. So that's also something you need to consider when talking about when you owe banks money. If it's a credit card, then you're going to have to pay that down. So what most people tend to do is they look into things called balance transfers. If you have another credit card that has like a lower interest rate or something like that, most people will try to transfer the balance that they have on the one card to the other card to help them pay it off quicker, because the interest isn't so bad. There are other people who will get personal loans to pay off credit cards. Now, again, this goes back to the concept that we talked about at the beginning of the live. If you cannot manage your money properly, then, getting this loan might not be the best thing for you, because then you're going to just be behind the eight ball, because you still have to make monthly payments on that credit card if you don't plan on closing it. On top of now when you have these loan payments. Check system says I owe money, but I have 2 bank accounts. Just because you're in check systems, that's not what's going to prevent you from getting an account. It's more of so of what is reporting in check systems, and different banks have different thresholds. So it also depends on how much you owe. That could prevent you from getting accounts. Also, if you do not already have pre-established relationships prior to you being in check systems, then it's going to be even harder for you to establish these connections with people, because they're not going to be able to trust you. If you won your dispute and it's removed, can it be added back to your credit? It all depends on the reason for removal. This is not considered reinsertion. For example, if you won the dispute with that particular creditor because they said that they did not have enough information to report or collect on it, likely what happened after that is that they sold the debt to try to recoup the money that they lost. And so now this new company is going to report on your credit report because they have now purchased this debt, and it is completely legal to do this. Now, what I would suggest if that happened to you is you already have proof that they don't have what they need to collect on this debt, because they bought it from somebody who didn't have the proof that they need to collect on this debt. And so what you should do then is maybe negotiate a pay to delete. Like, look, I know for a fact that you do not have what it takes to report or collect on this debt, but I'm willing to pay you in exchange for you no longer reporting to the credit bureaus. So that is an option that you have. Unfortunately, that debt will continue to be sold as long as that debt is owed. Right? It's going to continue to be sold. And then it's up to you to do debt validations every single time this debt is sold. Now, every time a debt is sold while it's in collections, that does not reset the reporting time. So if you look at the original account and you manually calculate from the date of first delinquency 7 years, and that 7 years is creeping up, don't touch it. It'll fall off. However, what you also need to understand is your state statute of limitations. So, for example, in the state of Louisiana, the statute of limitations is 10 years. So even though something has fallen off your credit report at 7 years, in the state of Louisiana, it is completely legal for them to continue to pursue you for this debt in court. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's also important for you to understand for those of you who are disputing and having accounts removed from your credit profile. What other questions you guys got for me? Whew. You're so welcome. What other questions you guys got for me? I really hate Instagram that y'all cannot see what I'm playing, because I know I probably look crazy not looking at y'all. I'm trying to make sure. But like I said, so I'm trying to monetize my Twitch as well as my Facebook page. So my Facebook page is listed as a gaming content creator page, which is going to allow me, hopefully, to make some coins from all the videos that I post, because you know that is how I'm able to keep posting all the information and stuff that I post for free. I'm able to do so because I monetize my platform. So like I get paid to post videos. So I'm trying to do the same thing for Facebook, because like the more money I can make posting videos, the more I can do this shit for free. How do I find out if my 7 years are up? So your reporting time, again, is calculated by your the original account. So you need to go back to your original account. So the account as it was with the original creditor, and you're going to look for two dates, right? If it is a paid account, you're going to look for something known as the date of last payment. So what date was the very last payment on that account made? If it is an account where you owe money, you're going to look for the date of first delinquency. That is that first missed payment that led to the account actually being charged off. And so if you can identify these dates, then you'll be able to manually calculate the 7 years that lead to that will tell you how long something is going to report. Now, the statute of limitations, or how long a company has to sue you, that is that can fluctuate. So, for example, if you have items in collection and a debt collector call you and they say, "Hey, can we talk to Markia?" And I'd be like, "Hey, I'm Markia. What's up?" And then they start talking to me about this debt. Technically, I have validated this debt. And so now that updates the date of last activity for me. And so now that resets the statute of limitations depending on what state I lived in when I signed that contract. So the statute of limitations can be reset. Your reporting time, the only thing that can reset the reporting time is a payment. That is the only thing that can reset the reporting time. So if you have a debt that you just wasn't paying for a very long period of time, and then you finally pay it, the date of first delinquency now becomes the date of last payment, and it will report from 7 years from that payment. My sister has a bankruptcy on her credit and charge-offs. Can she remove them from her credit? Yes. Now, what I will say is removing a bankruptcy can be a little arduous. It is not a quick process, especially with the mail being what it is right now. I swear, like, the mail is not freaking moving. Um, oh, oh, that was cute. I'm telling y'all, this is a really good game. I beat it before, so I know what's gonna happen. That's why I said all probably. But yeah, you can remove them. And then what happens is when you remove the bankruptcy, they now become just regular charge-offs. And so then the only way to remove charge-offs, obviously, is to identify either an inaccuracy, an error, or a violation in the way that it's reporting. Oof. What other questions y'all got for me? This is probably going to be the last live until I come back from vacation. You know what I might do? I think I might can squeeze in one next week, but this is probably going to be the last live until I come back from vacation. I am taking a well-deserved vacation. This is good. I'm also kind of nervous because this is the longest that I've been away from my business, and I'm a workaholic, but I'm excited. Where the music at? Here it is. Doo-doo-doo. What other questions y'all got for me? Now's the time to ask them. What am I looking at? Oh. The Prowler. That's the Prowler. Boop. Have a wonderful vacation. That'll be first to call you when you get back. Okay. Yay, vacation. Yes, I'm so excited. Oh, examine. I'm going to take it. Let's take it. Let's go. What is the difference between a consumer report and a credit report? There is no difference. It's literally whatever you want to call it. It's usually called a consumer report when you start looking at like the third-party reporting agencies because they don't. Some of them don't provide credit scores, so they typically call them consumer reports. But a consumer report and a credit report is the same thing. Do you have any information concerning NFTs? No, because I'm not interested in NFTs. If you want me to be completely honest. Can I use court documents to remove a repossession? The court dismissed because they couldn't validate the amount. Yes, you can use court documents to have items removed from your credit report. It is illegal for a company to report or attempt to collect on unvalidated debt. And so if you have court documents that say that it was dismissed because they could not validate that debt, you kind of see where I'm getting at. So then you can use that to have the items removed. I have good payment history, 7.5 years of revolving credit, 1 inquiry. My score moved 1 point each month. I hate when y'all try to break down your credit reports in the comments because it never explains the whole story, no matter how detailed y'all try to get. But you also have to understand that your credit profile, you have to understand how your score is calculated in order to understand why you're only getting those amount of points. And then I always tell people too, the higher your score is, the less points you're going to get for stuff. And that's just me being honest. The higher you go, the harder it is to keep going higher. But is it because of collections and charge-offs? Yes, that is exactly what it is. Like I said, your consumer report or your credit profile, right? Your profile is looked at as a whole when determining your credit score. It's not only looking at, oh, do you pay your bills on time or what are your balances? A lot goes into how your credit score is calculated. So you definitely have to take your entire consumer report into kind of mind when you're looking at why your score is the way it is. Bro, so in New York, is fire escapes really like lit like this? Because growing up, I had always wanted to live in New York and have a fire escape and put plants out there and all that shit. Where's you going, bro? Niggas on the roof. Niggas on the roof. I forgot about this one. When I send a message, it won't let me type the whole text. No matter how descriptive you tried to be in the comments, even if you were allowed to tell me what you perceive to be the entire story, it will never be enough for me to have an accurate picture because you don't even know what I'm looking at or what I'm looking for to even make that. Let me see. Find the transformer. To even make that determination on what's affecting your credit profile. This goes back to, like I said, this is why it's important for you all to understand how to read your credit report too. Oh, L1 square. There we go. Hey, girl. Hey. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, go down. Yo, he is the best, bro. He's the best friend, bro. How can I do this for myself? How can you do what for myself? For yourself. I said for myself. Is there any place I can get information to help myself now you can recommend? I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of help you need. I don't know what you need help with to know how to help you, I guess you could say. Like, what do you need? What are you looking for? I swear I love this game. This game is so wholesome. Oh, but the ending was so sad to me. What other questions you guys got for me? One very slept on resource when it comes to not even just credit, but like your finances in general, is ftc.gov. The Federal Trade Commission is kind of like the overhead for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, creditors, credit bureaus, like all of that. And the FTC provides some really valuable information. In fact, when I do pop-up shops or when I do workshops in person and I'm giving out like a lot of like literature, it is all literature from the FTC directly because they are the ones who set these laws in place. So it's best for me to give information that's kind of directly from the horse's mouth. So, that is a very slept on resource. So ftc.gov. Bro, I'm thirsty and I think hungry. I'm not exactly sure. I got 15 more minutes until I hit an hour. So perfect. Once I hit an hour, I'm actually going to get off the game and then just go live regular on TikTok and everything else. I just had to get in an hour of gameplay for the week for one of the challenges. So yeah, that's probably another reason why it's not spreading to the right people, which is fine. You're so welcome. All right. So what other questions you guys got for me? Do do do. I'm trying to. I sent the validation letter to the collection agency and got no response a month later. What's the next step? So first you need to understand that they have 45 business days to respond, not 30 calendar days. A lot of people mess that up. So they be like, well, they didn't respond and I sent it 30 days ago. Make sure it's been 45 calendar days, which is actually like 60 something days technically, give or take. And it's also not from when you sent it. It's from when it was received. So you also kind of have to add days for that. However, if you don't receive anything, the only thing you can do at that point is to then send it certified signature request so that you can have somebody to hold responsible when you do go to file your complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And the reason why I typically don't send letter certified the first time because you get more bees with honey or something like that. I know y'all know what saying I'm trying to say. When you be nice and you be very unassuming and you're not coming off very aggressive, that can get you more things with these creditors and with these credit bureaus. Once you start being very litigious, once you start having all the extra words and stuff in there, that's when oh no, you gotta be a third-party reporting agency. I mean, you got to be a third party and I don't see a power of attorney and blah, blah, blah. And they really don't want to work with you or they're extra hard or not really being very lenient. So that's just something to kind of take into account as well. But your next step is definitely going to resend that letter certified with a copy of the original letter that you sent. And just let them know, like, listen, failure to respond to this means that you do not have the proper information that is required to report or collect on this debt. And so I'm demanding that you delete this, or I will file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. No, it's not bad that you already sent it certified. You just take, so what you can do is you can take that receipt, take a copy of the letter that you sent the first time and resend it, and let them know that failure to respond to this dispute in the allotted amount of time is going to lead to you filing a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, because technically their time hasn't expired yet, because like you said, it's only been 30 days. So technically their time hasn't expired yet, but it's winding down. So, I mean, you can send them a letter to remind them. If the creditor cannot validate the debt, what's the next step to get it off your credit report? If they can't validate the debt and they acknowledge that, then they also have to acknowledge that they can't report on it. So if they flat out tell you we cannot acknowledge the debt, in that same letter it should say we will now cease all collection and report collection attempts and reporting. If not, then you can take where they did acknowledge that they can't validate it, and you can send that to the credit bureaus to have them remove it. Aww. Well, I hope I'm helping. Swipe left. Oh, okay. Ta-da. There we go. What other questions you guys got for me? The Harlem trains are out of service. Oh, I remember this mission. What other questions you guys got for me? Again, once it hits an hour, I'm gonna get out the game, and TikTok I'll have to get off and get back on. But I just needed to record an hour of how do I start my 4OS? I don't know what that means. How do I start in my 4OS? My 400s? Is that what you're trying to say? Sick. Nigga said, where the other Spider-Man? Oh, look at Avengers Tower. Well, in the air, hold square and push L in any direction. Skrrr. Oh, I just killed that. All right, well, I mean, 40s. I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how long you've had bad credit. None of that matters. It's all about making that decision. Like, you know what? I've had bad credit up to this point, and now I'm just going to start over. It doesn't take 20 years to build good credit. Definitely doesn't take that long. It just takes a change in your mindset. That's all. A problem that I see with a lot of the older people who either come to me for help or, you know, who follow me, the biggest problem that I see with them is that it's very hard to unlearn 40 years of habits, right? It's very hard to unlearn 30 something years of, you know, things that you've just done without even thinking about it, things that you've learned, things that were passed down to you, et cetera, et cetera. So once you change your mindset and kind of heal the relationship that you have with money, specifically, I really feel like you can make that change no matter how old you are. Should I dispute medical bills if they are reported by the actual medical provider and I still go to that physician office for care? So here's the thing about debt just in general. Just because you dispute it doesn't mean that it's going to absolve you of any debt. Now, I typically tell people if you would like to maintain a good relationship with a creditor, then, you know, try to contact them to resolve any disputes first before you just start going to the credit bureaus and all that stuff, because that can really save your relationship, and you'd be surprised what they'd be willing to do for you simply because you already have that relationship with them. Approach door. Oh shit. Oops. There we go. What's you in here doing, bro? Thanks, though. I'm trying. Yes, there was no model. Thanks, though. It's all about trying. It's all about trying. Oh, yeah. Let me see. 10 more minutes of this. What other questions you got for me? I thought this game was a super cool twist on what I was expecting to happen in the game, especially regarding the Prowler. For those of you who beat Spider-Man, I definitely thought this was something different. What? Hold X on the hollow drone gadget to... Where do you see that at? To craft. Where do you see the hollow drone? Oh. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Student debt is the only debt I have, but it's large. Student loan debt actually can be a good thing. Again, if it's used properly. Damn, bro. It's all about select the hollow drone gadget. It's all about having your accounts reporting positively. So if you have student loans and it's the only debt that you have, it is not very wise to have them taken off your credit report, even if they are reporting negatively. I tell people that all the time because the age of your credit is also just as important. And when you remove an account from your credit profile that was with the original creditor, you lose all the history associated with that account. And man, that can really mess your score up worse than having the thing on there. So you definitely want to kind of take that into consideration when you're considering what to do with your student loans, because I know for a lot of you, you're just like, well, I just want to take it off. But if you have a very thin credit profile, then it's actually going to do more harm than good. Boom. Damn, I whooped her ass. Bro, knock that nigga out. Why is it taking so long? Ah, boom. There we go. Making large payments is good or no? So far, I'm still in grad school and deferred. It doesn't matter. I mean, if your payments are deferred, they reflect as on-time payments on your credit report, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. Girl, you're fine. The whole point of me being live is for people to ask questions. So if you're asking questions, you're doing the right thing. A lot of people suggest making payments even though you're in deferral, simply because that obviously lowers how much you owe when it is actually required for you to start making payments. But that's also one of those preference things. All right. Any other questions, y'all? Let me see. Oh, good. I got like 8 minutes. Like I said, once I hit the hour mark, I'm gonna get off of here. So instead of being classified as gaming, it can actually be classified as my regular category. You're awesome, and I've recommended your page to others. Keep doing what you're doing. It's appreciated. Oh, thank you. Whoa. Do. Ooh. Oh. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ooh, what they down there doing? Maybe I can stop them quietly. L2 to aim at an object. Oh, okay. Boom. How do he be using just enough pressure to knock these niggas out but not kill them? All right. Let's see if I can take them out one by one. Bow. Come on, guy. Doo-doo-doo. Come on up here, homie. Get comfy. Nope, that's a danger. That's a danger. That's a danger. Oh, because of that nigga. Let me get up here and see. Where you at, bro? Is that safe? Yep. Go on, give me that. Sorry, Instagram, I'm playing the game. Y'all can't see it, but everybody else can. All right, where you at? I'm about to take you to. Woohoo! Wow. You should have never left your homie. There we go. Boom. Gotta be quicker than that. Alrighty. Where you at, my guy? Okay. Danger. Damn, I was just about to click it. Where you at? Sick. Yo, Spider-Man really be beating everybody up. Man, woman, child, all that. Don't care. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely about to go over there and get that nigga, bro. Bow. Gotta be quicker than that. Yes, I can, and I'm going to. Wow. Alright, now how do I do that? Alright, what time is it? Alright, 2 more minutes. How do you go about disputing late payments? Okay, so when it comes to late payments, it all depends on the status of the account, right? So if you have a closed account, then the first step is always ask nicely, right? If you ask nicely to see what they can do for you first, you're kind of, if you don't have to go through the dispute process, then you're kind of cutting out, oopsies. Dang. I hate when Instagram do that. You're cutting out a lot. So that's the first step. Ask nicely if it's a closed account. Now, if they tell you no, we're not updating it because it's accurate, then what you're going to do is you're going to force them to kind of prove that statement. You're going to force them to validate the fact that these are one-time payments. So you can request a copy of your payment history and then force them to prove that you were in fact late. If they cannot provide evidence to support that statement, then they have to update the account to paid as agreed instead of, those missed payments. Now, if this is an open account, your version of asking nicely is going to be a Goodwill Letter. The Goodwill Letter pretty much states like, yo, listen, I've had a really good relationship with you guys. I would like to maintain a good relationship with you guys. So can you forgive me for the late payments that I had because it is not an accurate depiction of my credit worthiness. Now, again, you're going to be kind of at the mercy of It say I'm going in and out. Really? Damn. Oh man, that sucks. Jeez Louise. Instagram, y'all really be giving me the blues, don't you? Instagram really be playing with me. I'm gonna give her a second to come back on. Hey, so listen, I'm gonna shut those streamed. I was told I need to boost my score 20 points for a conventional loan. How can I do that in 30 days? You likely cannot. You can't. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you. 20 points in 30 days, that's a lot of points and not a lot of time. And lenders have 45 business days before they even have to respond to your disputes. So anything that you can even think of doing, it's probably too late. Now, you can try to see if you can find the you can try to see if maybe you can identify the statement date for your credit cards and then pay all of your balances as low as possible without it touching zero to lower your credit card utilization. That can get you some points. If you have high balances, that can get you a lot of points by paying your cards down all the way. But 20 points in 30 days, that's not enough time, and that's a huge goal. So yeah. TikTok, Facebook, Twitch. Y'all give me 2 seconds. I'm going to end the game stream and then come back on regular so that my regular people can see that I'm live and come on and talk. I'm going to go ahead and end the game.